Thanks for the question.
Hey, g'day everyone, my name's Ed.
G'day Ed.
How are you, mate?
Good, mate, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
All right.
Good on you.
I'm pretty excited about this game, and in particular I'm interested because of the connectivity between the show and the MMO and the international audience. Are we going to be seeing this show pretty close to the US release overseas? Mark, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, actually, the goal right now, and one of the pleasures of this, I mean, I think it's kind of rare to have a series, and especially something that's shot almost a year before it actually is going to air. You're usually much closer to air than that. And one of the reasons we did that is because of this day and date coordination that we want to do, not just in America, but also internationally. And the game is going to be released internationally and also on all the platforms as well as PC at the same time. And so there is a lot of effort that's being put into making sure that internationally it's the same thing.
Great, thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, yeah, I feel like I have like 5 different questions, but I'll try to keep it to one because I know. I feel like the most interesting question I have is, I know at least some of you have heard of EVE Online, and yeah, I figured Nick would know. And like one corporation dominates half of space in that MMO. And like what happens when Goons or Anon or whatever, what have you, Reddit, dominates your MMO and then decides to kill off all your cast? Like, what safeguards do you have?
Well, but that changes and evolves in an MMO. I mean, in EVE Online, you know, you had ASCN dominated the universe for a long, long time, then Band of Brothers, and then...
Fair enough.
So it's gone on and on and on. Am I wrong, or am I speaking Australian? So, although you may have it in any MMO where one group, alliance, affiliation, or whatever starts to dominate, you know, the beautiful thing is the game guys are always going to be capable of altering at least the landscape of the universe to create a level playing field again. And, you know, and players themselves will alter it. I mean, players always define the world of the in an MMO.
All right, so you guys will be pretty vigilant about making sure that, like, no griefing group is going to destroy your show.
I don't know, Grant, are we?
Yeah. No, we're not.
No, they already thought about it.
And if they do, I'm coming into the game, mate, and I'll take care of it myself.
Just
I don't know what anyone's talking about.
Can I just say, if you're playing the game, please do not kill me off. I think I've died enough. Okay? Please.
Honey, I will outdie you any day of the week.
I didn't realize we'd have to be worried about that. Oh my God.
John Lithgow is signing up for the game.
They're coming for you.
Right.
So, question I have is you have 2 worlds, game and the actual series. I'm tired of TV executives taking things off or game company executives taking things out because they don't think it appeals to the 7-year-old, or I'm sorry, I'm going to offend some people because this isn't politically correct, the snooky air of TV. What are you going to do if they approach to kill one and not the other, or how are you going to keep it going for the people who get invested and then find out, oh, 8 episodes in, you're gone, or...
There'll be no killing.
Yeah.
There will be no killing.
Anyone want to take that? I guess we have a no suicide pact. I don't know. I mean, look, everything has a lifespan. You know, all television shows, regardless of how good they are. The Sopranos, you know, had a lifespan. You know, every show has its own kind of journey and it ends, and every game kind of drifts off into the ether eventually.
I'm gonna take this one, buddy.
Yeah.
Except for Defiance.
There will be no killing.
You know, it's the nature of things. So, you know, when you kind of start talking about that, do you mean are they going to agree to end together?
Well, I hope they don't, but I'm just tired of 6 episodes into something.
Yeah, take it.
Master, may I?
Yes. Grant's running the network now, too.
No Schmeagol.
So you can see why we won't kill him off. He won't let us. So it's something actually that we thought about very seriously from the beginning is what happens, and you know, I think I like much of you, I was a huge Battlestar fan. I was sad to see it go, and it certainly didn't go.
So was I, by the way. I was the one that killed Battlestar. Ron Moore and David Icke killed Battlestar, God damn it.
Yeah, so pointing fingers. But I think the key thing is when you talk about the relative lifespans, the different, you know, mediums that we're operating in, a good MMO lasts longer than a decade, right? You know, look, Ultima Online is still running, EverQuest is still running, right? Eve is still running, and I got a little secret on that. But I think that for us, we've always sort of taken into consideration that at some point in time, the possibility that the show doesn't exist is real, right? And so I think one of the things that we talk about and that's so unique about our approach when we created this IP that's really broad enough for both the show and the game to exist in this big broad world without making compromises is it allows us to be a good enough game. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're an MMO shooter, we're on the PC, we're on the PlayStation 3, we're on the Xbox 360. It's made by people who've been making MMOs for a tremendous amount of time and shooters for a tremendous amount of time. We're going to have enough stuff for you to do. We hope that the show is with us for 100 years. But
100 episodes.
Yes,
Defiance, the game.
100 episodes too. Okay.
And we hope
It's a long show.
with us too.
Yeah, exactly.
But these are really robust in themselves, right? So, and I do hope that the series is on the air for 100 episodes. But regardless, you're
The
gonna.
whole idea is it's an additive experience.
Right.
And you can experience either one, and it's a premium AAA game. It's a top-notch television show, and we hope that you enjoy them both.
And we're doing 13 episodes at the very least, so we're not yanking it off the air.
We're just getting started here.
Let's not
Defiance
talk
is
about
moving
the
forward.
end. When
are you going to end? When's it going to blow up?
Man.
I'm just tired of seeing they come on, we get involved, and then that's it.
We understand.
Yeah.
No, it's a good point. Thank
It
you.
sucks for us too.
Thanks for the question. Hi.
Before I ask my question, I just want to say, Jamie and Julie, please don't die because your cumulative death count has killed many a fangirl online. So don't die. But my question is actually for the creators. I know that you guys have this huge presence here at Comic-Con, but have you guys, you guys haven't had a presence at E3 or any of those gaming conventions. What are you guys planning on doing to advertise to the hardcore gaming crowd?
We had a mega booth.
Giant,
Yeah, they were.
big hellbug monster
They were
eating the bridge.
We had like a 30-foot tall blown up Golden Gate Bridge. We had like a 20-foot tall hellbug. We did quite well at E3. We were nominated for 13 Best of Show awards. We won 4. We felt we represented.
JK, I didn't know.
Yeah, and we also, we did actually show the game on the floor, on
It's not even out
Xbox, on PS3, so we're already running on the consoles and everything.
And if you'd like to play, please go to the Hard Rock Cafe. If you sit in a booth, you can play.
Yep.
So there.
I just gotta say, I was at E3. You guys had an awesome booth, especially for End of Nations coming out soon. That was pretty sick over there. The question I have is that with the game and the show interacting with each other, how often will you bring an event in that can drastically change one or the other?
I'll try this one. We've basically got on the board of the writers' room. We have dates, where we are with the game. We have where we are with the various episodes. Right now, we have 9 episodes. We're writing episode 9 right now. We're editing the 2-hour premiere, and all of the other episodes are open. And what we're doing is every single episode will have some sort of crossover element. There'll be an element that goes from the game into the show, something that comes from the show into the game. Some will be larger than others. Sort of at the midpoint is probably, I would say, our largest one, which we've got an episode where there's going to be I don't know, this isn't too spoilery, but a thing called Razor Rain, which is a huge sort of global catastrophe of bits of the arcs in the atmosphere are still floating up there, and sometimes they get caught in a vortex and they come down, and it basically rains shrapnel on people. And that particular storm cloud is moving across the country, and with it, it's coming. There's certain viral component to it, and it basically helps spread a plague. And what's going to be happening is the 2 cities are going to be working in tandem to try to save their various populations. There'll be communication back and forth, and in between episodes of the TV show, the players are going to be involved synthesizing a cure and going on missions that are about getting what needs to happen, and then that will hand back off into the television show. So that's probably like our biggest, coolest, most interactive back and forth tentpole.
Awesome.
Hi. So, Jamie and Julie, I specifically asked a game developer about this over at the Defiance Cafe, and if you are slated for destruction, we get to save your lives, so you're good. My question is actually for the cast, other than probably Grant and Tony. Do any of you plan on playing the game?
I do.
I played it this morning.
Okay, like after you leave here.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Chance to play with myself, of course.
Please be aware that many members of your audience may be under 18. Room 506, the Marriott.
Not another lonely
For
night.
the win. Wow.
Hi, so I want to ask a question about the mechanics of player influence on the show. Will it be like an aggregate system, like, oh, so many players brought in a combined total of like 1 million pieces of body parts or whatever from some enemy? Is it like, oh, 51% of the players decided to kill this character and 49% decided to let him live, so we're gonna go with, killing them? And especially if that would create like a dissonance between the game, between the gameplay experience and what actually happens on the show. It's like, oh, I killed that character. Why is he alive on the show? So, how will you manage the mechanics of player interaction?
We don't let the audience vote.
There will be no killing.
There'll be no killing.
It's not Survivor.
I mean, I do think the key thing is, your stars are stars for a reason, right? And you're there because, to the gentleman earlier, you've made this emotional investment in them, and you would like to keep getting returns on your investment, right? So, hey, that's a red shirt. What do they do, right?
Dude, could I vote to kill a red shirt?
It's not a red shirt, it's Picard.
Captain Kirk and Wonder Woman in the front row, if anybody's interested.
It's actually Jean-Luc Picard.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to forgive you.
You're not allowed to piss.
Sorry. Good man, Jean.
Okay, since I'm guessing there are going to be characters from the video game, that are giving you the missions that aren't going to be you guys because you guys are in San Francisco during the show. So are there some of the characters from the game itself ever going to make appearances in the show? Some of the ones that give you missions and stuff?
Yeah, Mark.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Grant?
Good. Awesome.
It goes on throughout the course of season 1. We have we of course we start off with Arissa Nolan. There's another character who's an Arathian who starts off with a small part in the TV show that becomes much larger as the show goes on. She then hands off into the game, and then at the end of the season, I can't tell you what happens, but a number of our cast will be moving out and going back into the game environment.
But then we're also looking for opportunities to kind of bring gamers, if there's a certain opportunity for a gamer to come into the series.
I don't want to move
No
out.
killing, but moving.
I don't know.
Yeah, I actually, Mark brings up a good point too. There's also going to be a is that for me?
That's a case of Stella. See me at my front desk.
But we're actually going to do a contest in which a player's character that they create for the video game will then in second season come into the show.
What,
Yeah,
so if someone
and that's an in-game contest.
If someone
So
makes
something you play in the game that will allow that to happen.
So name your characters appropriately.
Yes,
so you
from
like
day one. From day one.
Right.
And I think this is more for the guys than the girls. Name your characters appropriately.
But just to add, it will be 12 and a half hours of prosthetic makeup. But it'll be fun though.
My question is for the creators. When I first got into sci-fi, I start in the era of movies like Damnation Alley, Dune, TV shows like Max Headroom, very urban, post-apocalyptic grunge. Then all of a sudden we jumped into the space dramas. We got Deep Space Nine, we got Next Generation, we got Babylon 5, and it was a very sterilized, cleaned up world. Now all of a sudden if you look at movies like Hunger Games, your rival that's being, Revolution that's being promoted so much, and then you guys, which is a very that once again, that oppressed grunge, back to having to fight for ourselves society. What is it that you, about either the audience, the networks, whatever, that is causing the pendulum to swing again to this, we have to fight for our survival mentality instead of the brightness of what the future holds?